In November 2023, a single transmission was picked up from the abandoned Blackridge Observatory. 19 seconds of silence, followed by 3 words, "It sees you." Investigator Daniel Holt was sent to verify the authenticity of the signal. He arrived on a Thursday and never transmitted again. The footage you're about to see was retrieved from his equipment 6 months later. The first thing he noted in his log, no signs of life, but the power grid still active. Blackridge had been shut down since 1984, after unexplained electromagnetic anomalies distorted every piece of data they collected. The images were rumored to change under direct observation, though no one could ever prove it. At 6:41 p.m., he began his environmental sweep. The microphone detected subaudible frequencies somewhere between mechanical vibration and breathing. He described the sensation as the air thinking back. Despite the power outage, the primary mirror was turning, aligning itself toward nothing visible. System readouts identified a signal source not from the sky, but from beneath the facility. Coordinates pointed exactly downward into the mountain's base. The observatory, it seemed, was listening inward. Beneath the observatory lay the archives, abandoned research modules sealed since the late 80s. Echo Field, the experiment designed to capture resonance patterns of non-human cognition. Their hypothesis, consciousness might leave electromagnetic imprints, but the recordings grew reactive. Holt noted movement in the reflection behind him. He believed it to be a shadow caused by lens flare. But on review, the frame had already changed. At precisely 7:03 p.m., electrical interference surged across every circuit simultaneously. The interference wasn't random. It pulsed like Morse code. Holt translated the rhythm to phonetics. It spelled the word below. He decided to follow it. Mechanical power offline. Descent on foot. Each meter down, temperature rose instead of fell. At 20 meters, the concrete turned organic. Veins of iron running like blood. The rock was breathing. Recording dropped 6 seconds of footage. Unknown cause. A single passage led deeper. Black dust coating the floor like ash. Mineral analysis later confirmed. Not dust, but particulate iron with traces of calcium, organic origin. For 20 minutes, Holt recorded the sound of movement behind the walls, like something shifting position. He described it as someone pressed into the mountain mid-breath. Vocal analysis showed no human frequency range, something older. At this point, Holt considered retreat, but the signal intensified. Every step closer increased electromagnetic resonance. The air shimmered. He proceeded toward the anomaly, against every rational instinct. What he saw next cannot be confirmed through the footage. It corrupts every digital format. Audio recovered. One line, repeated 13 times. It's looking up. At the tunnel's end, a sphere, black and perfect, floated inches above the ground. It mirrored the night sky, a universe inverted. Contact lasted less than 1 second, but multiple observers later reported hearing a whisper through the footage. Frame anomaly, bilateral duplication. Both sides of the image blink independently. After contact, Holt's heart rate slowed to 14 BPM. He continued recording. The environment began mapping itself, forming light patterns consistent with known star systems, until every constellation converged into a single outline, an eye. Biometric data indicated synchronized dilation between Holt's eyes and the projection. Voice transcription partial. It's not looking at
the shipment before
it's
midnight
looking through me.
or everything.
At 7:54 p.m., seismic sensors registered localized vibration. Epicenter, Holt's position. Temporal distortion detected. 8 seconds of repeated frames within the original sequence. The sphere displayed the surface facility, but the timestamp was 12 hours ahead. He had entered a feedback loop, 2 versions of observation collapsing into one. That convergence marked the last verified frame before full signal loss. The final image extracted from his recorder, partially human, partially patterned. At precisely 8 p.m., all contact ceased. The next transmission from Blackridge Observatory arrived 19 seconds later. The same 3 words as before, "It sees you." 48 hours after Holt's disappearance, a recovery team was dispatched to Blackridge. Only their audio transmission survived. Their leader, Dr. Mara Keene, noted immediate magnetic distortion across all instruments. Ground temperature had risen by 12 degrees Celsius, localized only beneath their steps. Visual feed from Holt's recorder had reactivated itself, now transmitting data in repeating patterns. Pattern analysis later confirmed stellar coordinates, none matching known constellations. One of the technicians claimed to recognize the pattern as an afterimage he'd seen in dreams. At 2:13 a.m., motion detected in the lower levels, though the team had not yet descended. They followed Holt's last known route, unaware the elevator was already active before they arrived. Dr. Keene's final entry reads, "Descent feels longer than structure depth." The counter cycled infinitely. The team had entered something that wasn't entirely physical. Spatial mapping indicated the interior volume exceeded exterior dimensions by 600%.
Nothing like this.
Every 50 seconds, the sound of a heartbeat echoed through the concrete. She reported the pulse synchronized with her own.
Look,
Recovered
it's Daniel's.
intact, still running, recording audio that did not belong.
Is it still working?
The frequency
audio
formed
input.
syllables.
The
Observer
waveform shows
observed.
clear art.
Magnetic resonance reached dangerous levels. Instruments malfunctioned, but the video continued. Light and body began to desynchronize. Their shadows acted independently. It blinked twice, then merged back into its host. Forensic
You shouldn't
analysis
have
later
followed.
found no secondary voice source.
It's
The
affecting
sphere
the
had
local
grown,
flora. Look at the
absorbing the
energy
tunnel's
signature.
geometry
Incredible.
like a slow
It's
inhalation.
just as Holt.
The reflection revealed an alternate version of the team, frozen mid-motion. For 8 seconds, both entities coexisted. Then the reflection smiled. Recording blackout. Audio continues along. Her voice can be heard whispering coordinates again, the same as Holt's, below. The others were gone. The chamber empty. The mountain above her had vanished, replaced by a view of deep space that couldn't exist. Every pulse matched her heart rate, as if something beyond the sky was syncing with her biology. "If you're receiving this," she says, "we've been mapped."
The
Her
connection
body
is
cam
failing.
began
We are losing
translating
power on deck
electromagnetic
7. They are
radiation
everywhere.
into visible
Can you
form.
hear me?
Entities appeared, not material, but made of observation itself. The footage slows, frame by frame. Her molecules blur into pixels. Transmission briefly spikes, then collapses into a single tone. At 3:07 a.m., all equipment shut down. Blackridge returned to silence. The files were classified, labeled as visual contagion hazard. Within 48
seeing
hours,
this?
every
Is that
analyst
data
who
correct?
viewed the footage reported identical dreams. They all described a spiral descending endlessly, with something vast waiting at the base. Blackridge wasn't an observatory. It was an antenna built from human thought frequencies. They weren't observing the universe. They were trying to make it look back. Recovered video anomaly. Holt, post-mortem timestamp. Still breathing. Fingerprint analysis matched his, but texture revealed silicon lattice structure. Not organic. The footage had begun projecting new observers into its own narrative. Temporal syncing complete. The footage now aligned with real-time observation. Mouth movement translates to keep watching. Within moments, all connected systems across the lab mirrored the same visual anomaly. The entity had found a new medium, observation itself. Power shut down initiated, but the image persisted without electricity. Their expressions identical, neither fear nor peace, only awareness. The footage itself has become a form of transmission. The act of viewing completes it. Those are the last words embedded within the recovered file. No human has entered Blackridge since. Yet, every year, a new transmission arrives, exactly 19 seconds long. Spectrogram reveals faint modulation,
A voice
identical to
synthesized.
Holt's breathing pattern. Perhaps the mountain never held a structure at all, just a memory that refuses to stop observing. If you watched this far, you are now part of its record. Pause. Subscribe to Machine Malice for more recovered transmissions from the edge of reason.